We are live. We are live. We are live. Hello, 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 everyone. And I'm super excited. This is the first time we're doing this all together. I've got some amazing ladies that are getting ready to come up into the studio. And before we get started, I'm just trying to let Dr. Bramwell get a chance to get situated and connect her Facebook as well. We are super excited to be here. And what we want you to do is we want you to go ahead and start to let people know that we are live, that this is the place that they need to be. And we want you to tag, and share. Tag and share. Let everybody you know. And I know the squad is about to come in. But listen, what you want to do is you want to tag somebody who may have been asking questions for some time now. So as you are logging on, what we want to know is if you are ready to level up your life, I want you to say level up in the comments. Let me see those comments go loud and proud. If you're ready to level up your life, let me see you say level up. If you're excited about 2025 being a pivotal year for you and you know that you're on the brink of a breakthrough, I want to see you comment, I'm ready. Let me see you comment, I'm ready. You know, as you're logging on, and I think, let me see. Okay. I want to see, I'm trying to make sure that you guys can hear us. And if you can hear me, there we go. So if you are ready, say, I'm ready. Say, level up. I see those comments now starting to come in. We wanted to make sure that we are connected. So listen, you know, I am Nina Moore, and I have two amazing ladies that are going to be joining this live. But I need y'all to get these numbers up. So we want to make sure that you are tagging, making sure that your friends and family are here. You know, there are a lot of people that say, and I can't believe that. I just can't believe that is really working like that. Well, guess what? This is the time to get them here. We've got Dr. NICOLE Bramwell that will be here to answer any questions for you. She's going to give you her medical expertise. So I want you to tag your neighbor, tag your mama, tag your uncle, tag your dads, tag your boyfriends, tag your besties, tag your coworkers, tag your pastors, tag your the ministers at your church, tag your therapist here, right? Tag the girls travel club here, tag your sorors here. Right? Tag your sorority sisters. That's what I'm talking about, right? Tag, and share. You want to tag your business partners, especially those that are new. You want to tag them, and you want to tag someone that you just want them to hear this information that is life changing. You want to hear this information that is life changing. And so we promise to maybe not be so long, but we're going to be strong, right? We're going to go as long as we need. And so first off, we've got Dr. NICOLE Bramwell that'll be joining us this evening. She has been a doctor for 30 years, right? She started off in the pediatric field, She's got two dual certifications. She's also a graduate of Howard University, also a specialist in diabetes care. It's crazy that although she really never wanted to really deal with weight loss, she is a professional at helping people to lose weight, especially those that are struggling or suffering with diabetes. And then we've got my good friend Chi, who she and I met through Instagram. I was watching her page after joining the Super Patch family, and I really just fell in love with what she was doing. And then when I saw that she won first place in our plank challenge, we connected even more. So as you guys are logging on and sharing this, we're going to go ahead and bring Chi to the stage. We're going to go ahead, you can unmute Chi, and we're going to go ahead and bring Dr. Bramwell to the stage. I don't know if she's ready yet. Okay, we're going to wait on Dr. Bramwell. But Chi, let everybody know where you're from and what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm originally from California. I am bi-coastal, so I'm in Alabama when I'm on the East Coast, about an hour from Atlanta and Oxford down I-20. And then when I'm on the West Coast, I am in Las Vegas. And I think we're going to be meeting up in Las Vegas in January.
That's what I hear. That's super cool. I love Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. And I love Las Vegas that time of year because it's not too hot. Yeah, because it's not too hot. So I lived in LA for quite a while and we visited Las Vegas often, but several of the companies that I've been a part of, especially when I attended Eric Worre's events, all of those are in Vegas as well. Vegas is a good time. I've got some friends that just recently came back from Vegas and oh my gosh, they were like, Vegas is such a good time. It is. The shopping is great.
Oh
The
yeah.
food is great. Vegas is a good time. So
Yeah,
listen, y'all heard that, right? Put it in your notebooks, put it in your calendars that we're coming to Vegas
that's right.
in January. And we've got some teammates that are actually on here tonight that are actually in Vegas. And so I know that they'll be excited that they don't have to fly to us, that we'll be flying to them. Chi Chi, what is going on? Like this, have you seen how viral this is going?
Yes, and it's amazing because, Jay, although he's been in this field for some years, he started out with the socks, trying to
Yes.
help golfers and things like that. But then he's like, well, I need to create something else where, they can wear multiple things that address different situations. So this has been, I think, like 3 years, right? It's really new.
January 2023. So
Yeah,
are we 2 years in 2023? Yeah, we only three, two and a
right.
half, two and some change. Not
Yeah.
even a full 3 years yet. Wow.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, in that short period of time, the company has grown so much because we are just serious about helping people. And I mean, these patches are amazing. Medical professionals are implementing them in their practices. I'm just blown away.
You know, Chi Chi, for me, I will say this. I am so glad that there's a patch for that because honestly, I wouldn't have wore a sock. I don't like, I'm one of them kids. I wouldn't have wore a sock. I'm one of those kids that like to walk around in LA barefoot. I like to still be in the house, I mean, I wear a shoe, a slipper, like a house shoe, but I don't like socks. Like I only wear them to the gym because I don't want my sneakers to smell bad or anything like that to absorb the moisture. But I am really grateful for this new technology and also just for Jay having the mind to be innovative, and to not be stuck in the old way of doing things. Because he could have said, well, socks, everybody wears socks, but no, everybody doesn't wear socks. And to
Correct.
know that there needed that even his technology needed an upgrade. But
Yeah.
also to think about the fact that he spent $25 million
Millions
of his
of his own money.
own money in research and development. And I will tell you, I've been a network marketer now for 17 years since 2008. And I don't know a company that put $25 million into the research and development, 16 years with a purpose that was founded in, let me save my mama.
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, and I, for me, after I thought about it, I know that for me, once I saw this have such an effect on my own mama,
Yes.
it changed the game for me.
Right.
Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So we want to welcome real quick, Dr. Bramwell is in the house. Ah! Dr. Bramwell, did you need a peace patch today?
I didn't. I got my memory though patch on.
Okay. Yeah, I know when you get out late like this, it's like sometimes you need that
Oh
peace
my
patch.
goodness. No, but thank God the day was pretty good. It was pretty good, just long. That's all.
How amazing is it to be here with the both of you?
Yes.
Chi Chi, your energy is just infectious. And as I saw, was going through, because I didn't see a lot of information about Super Patch when we started, which is really just a minute ago. We only
Right.
been here a spit ago. We actually joined at the same, we all came on board at the same time, just in two different, legs of business. But I immediately, you just popped up on my social media, on my Instagram,
Wow.
and I was looking at like, oh wow, your presentation was professional, it was clean, and I said, oh, let me look at this. This is really good stuff. And I started seeing that you were doing stability tests and you just kept doing them and doing them and doing them. And then I really started following you when that plank challenge started. And I thought that I was going to start the plank challenge. I don't know how I started the videos and then I never posted them. And then it was like, you know what? I'll just watch you. And I was so excited to see my sister won.
That's
What did
awesome.
you win? Tell everybody what you won.
I won, and I had a choice between a bike or like $3,000 worth of Sephora products and some booty patches. But I'm like, no, give me the e-bike, please. So,
Hello.
yeah, so I'm super excited. That was a great challenge. I'm kind of like a little gym rat anyway, so it wasn't my first rodeo with working out, but it was definitely a challenge because I can't stand upper body. And so the fact that this was a planks and push-ups challenge, this was just great. I'm like, you know what? I'm going all the way to the top. I'm taking this.
And you did. And you did. And she did. And she did. Let me see. Y'all put some flames in the chat, right? Put some flames in the chat because she won and she did. Not
Because
that first place.
the challenge was in the US, in the UK, and somewhere else.
Yes.
So out of
It
all those,
wasn't just the US, right? You won. Like that was major, major. So big shout out to you, Dr. Bramwell. I'm certain that people are there. I see they're tagging and tagging and tagging and tagging. So we don't have any questions just yet. So I guess for now, we're gonna kind of have a conversation. But Dr. Bramwell, you've been in the medical profession now, a doctor for 30 years. You've seen a lot of things, a lot of breakthrough technologies, let's say,
True.
when it comes to medicines. And I know that you prefer naturalistic ways, more holistic ways, not natural, but holistic ways of healing. Can you talk a little bit about what is this like? What give us you watched that video that I sent you. What was your initial thoughts when I first sent you this video?
So it actually all came together like in a wave, because when I watched that, I thought about all the connectivity people that have been teaching and what have you on that I watch on YouTube. And I was like, oh my God, it has finally like come together to where, you know, all of those people like advertise like they're going to do these trainings and you got to come so that you can, get to that level. And here it is, we can just put on a patch and reach that level of maximum potential in your brain, just putting a patch on and allowing the body to do what it already does, but putting it in order, divine order, and putting it in that healing realm. And so that was really exciting for me, but I still almost didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, this is exciting, but I don't really believe it. And so when I was trying it, I was like, this is crazy. Actually, before we went public with our team, I was actually at a vending opportunity, and I was there and I was putting it on people, and I was like, okay, they're excited, I'm excited. Like every time their eyes got big, my eyes got big. And so to see that come to life. And just what disappoints me is that while I was a pediatrician and while I was seeing all those kids, how I couldn't help those kids with something like this, because that would have changed families' lives. I mean, half of my pediatric career was spent trying to reassure parents and trying to encourage them, and then having them be advocates for their kids in school and what have you, and teachers, unfortunately wanting kids to be on medication in order to control their room. And I understand their place because they've got more than enough kids in a room trying to control everybody and help them learn. And man, what a difference. But thank God we have kids that we can help now. And certainly those kids that are now adults with ADHD and hyperactivity, because believe me, it still persists. And there are a lot more adults with ADHD and inattentiveness and distractibility than we think. And they found creative ways to be able to do what they do. A lot of them go into like very specialized things and become very, very successful. However, the rest of their life doesn't, still the other part exists. And then with the pain, I mean, how many people have come to me with pain since I started doing my healthy curves, 12 years ago? People come, that's their main complaint, either pain or sleep. they're not sleeping, or they have pain, or both, because they both disrupt each other, right? And to be able to do something immediately that can help people. And although everybody doesn't get immediate relief, certainly if you continue to wear the patches, we've seen that people are improving. And that's the biggest thing. I think that's my biggest message. You do not start from ground zero when you put the patch on the second 24 hours. You are actually improved. You may not sense it yet, but you are improved. And now you're at a different point, and now you're going to improve from that point. And every time you put the patches on, that's what's going to happen. And so that would be my biggest message. Give it time, because my God, I mean, so many people have dealt with pain or instability, or as we're getting older, then the instability gets worse. Why wouldn't you put on a patch that's going to actually transform your life? Because going from not being able to walk, or not being able to be steady walking, to walking without using any aid, like my mother-in-law, who said, well, honey, the only thing is I just keep forgetting my cane. I'm like, okay, I like that problem.
I do
too. These patches too have the ability to improve the neural pathway.
Absolutely.
Which can actually generate permanent results, very positive results.
It's healing. It's correcting.
It's correcting. Yeah.
So even though they seem like they're a Band-Aid, they're not a Band-Aid. They are a corrective measure that actually helps you improve and improve and improve, to where that problem is actually corrected and healed. And what we don't want to do, we're not making any medical claims. I don't want anybody to take that, but certainly we have seen the symptoms associated with so many things actually get better and even go away, to where people's lives are changed in this we've only been here a very short time. The company's only been around a short time, and we've been here even shorter, and we've seen such miraculous things happen in this short period of time. I'm just amazed, and I'm thankful that we have this to offer.
Yeah, Chi-Chi, you just said a mouthful, really, because we get that question a lot. So am I going to have to wear these patches for the rest of my life? I hear that. I hear that. And what's ironic, I'm going to say that because I want to be responsible with my response to that, is ironically, these are people that have been on medications for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And they're asking, am I going to have to wear this patch for the rest of my life? So, Chi-Chi, I kind of want you to dive a little bit deeper in what you just said. I don't want to blow over what you just said. Repeat what you said so the people in the back can hear what you just said again, right?
Right. So the amazing thing about these patches, you can actually go to nobelprize.org, and you can read about these two medical doctors that, their discovery was absolutely amazing, because they answered a mysterious question that the medical world had not figured out yet. And that question was, okay, when I touch a glass of hot water, how does my body compute that it's hot? How does my body know to instantly remove my hand from a hot stove? Well, it's piezo 1 and piezo 2, which is what these doctors found out. And they actually found out by studying different individuals while they were researching piezo 1 and piezo 2 that you can actually have a deficiency in piezo 1 and piezo 2. And as a result of these piezo deficiencies, it creates other issues in your body. And so what Jay did is that he created a 2-inch by 2-inch patch that partners with these sensory neurons called piezo 1 and piezo 2 that communicate directly with the brain. And you can see Miss Nina holding it up right there. And on each patch, we have a total of 13 patches that we consistently have available. Right now, we do have 14 because we just re-released the Flow, which will be here for a limited time. However, each one of our 14 patches have a completely different neurocode on them, because we say it's Braille for the brain. Well, why do we say it's Braille for the brain? Because I can put a pencil in your hand, in your left hand. I can put a pen in the right hand, tell you to close your eyes first, and then put both items in your hand and tell you which one is the pen, which one is the pencil. Without you looking, you will tell me exactly which one is the pen and which one is the pencil. And that's because those sensory neurons, piezo 1 and piezo 2, are communicating with that area where the pen is or the pencil is. It's shooting it to the brain, communicating with the brain. That is a pencil, that is a pen. So when we put the patch on, there's nothing in these patches. There's no oil, there's no medication, no nothing. That's why it does not compete with the medications you're already taking. That's why we can put it on our children. We can put it on our elderly loved ones, and it's not going to affect anything that they're doing. These little prints here on each one of the patches, I have like 5 patches on, send a different signal, communicate something completely different with piezo 1 and piezo 2. Mm-hmm. So when I put my victory patch on, it's going to, or let me say, when I put my freedom patch on, which is our patch for pain, piezo 1 and piezo 2 are going to take that information from this print, that braille here, that braille print, and it's going to take it to the brain, and it's going to say, stop the arm from hurting, or stop the leg from hurting. Or the Liberty patch helps with neuropathy. Bring feeling back to this particular area of the body. And over time, as you continue to use the patches, it rewires the neural network in your brain. It can heal those pathways that have been blocked over time, whether it's due to trauma, medication, whatever the case may be. Dr. Bronner can talk on that a little bit more. But the point is, that's how that works. That's kind of the science behind how these patches are able to, over time, render you very good results, to the point where I just met a lady. I was in Houston at a Super Patch wellness conference. We actually met with a chiropractor who's been implementing these patches in his medical practice for a while now. And I met a woman who almost died in a car accident 10 years ago and had 8 fused discs in her neck. I literally took a picture of the scar. And as a result, she hasn't been able to really go out of the house. She hasn't been able to drive anywhere. And she wore the freedom patch just a couple of months, 3 months ago, for 2 months. The first 2 months she wore the freedom patch. She had severe pain for 10 years. For the first time in 10 years, after wearing the freedom patch for only 2 months, do you think she's had to wear the freedom patch anymore after that? No, she's only really had to put the patch on twice after that, which is significant because over time it's rendering her permanent results. I mean, it's amazing. So that's what I have to say about that.
I am hearing people tell me that they'll say, Nina, I use the freedom patch like consistently for like the first 7, 10, 15 days. And then after that, they'll say, wow, I didn't even need the patch. You know, I didn't need it. And I mean, I'm talking about people that have some serious issues. And again, we say we don't claim to cure, mitigate any diseases, but we know that we are now rewiring the codes, right? That are sending signals to the brain. And now people are well. They're getting well. And like somebody like a Sean Tyrone Bell that has a shoulder issue that he saw maybe in day 1, it didn't take the pain away. But by day 2, it was dulling the pain. By day 3, you know, he felt by day 4. And every day it got better and better and better because he didn't decide that it just wasn't working for him. And and we know that when you've got something that the doctors say there is really no cure for, you got to give it time to work. You've got to give that time to work. And I'm seeing that there are people with severe trauma that they've had, like car accidents and things like that, where they were in so much pain. I saw the lady Irene, who's got spasms. She was having spasms all over her body from the excruciating pain, and it didn't happen for her right away. It took many, many months before she had a real breakthrough, but she kept on believing that it was going to work because she was seeing some change, even though the doctors had told her that there was no cure for what was going on with her. And so, you know, I kind of want to dive into, because we'll be able to answer a few of the questions that have been asked. And when you, Dr. Bramwell, we're going to kind of let you take this one. Jay designed these patches really because his mother had MS. And we know we don't treat any diseases, but there are symptoms that are related to that. So I know that I saw someone asking in relation to the symptoms for something like MS, what patches would you suggest for a person like that based on what you know those symptoms are?
And if I can add, we are FDA registered as a medical, as an official medical.
Yep.
Right. Which is a huge deal. Huge deal. So yeah, knowing the symptoms of an autoimmune disease, first of all, just to kind of put it in a general category, basically the body is attacking itself, right? And it can affect any and every organ in the body. And so what we have to know is that, first of all, there are nerves going to every and any part of the body. And when you have things like pain, definitely inflammation in an autoimmune disorder, things are wonky, hormones, all kinds of things are off because of how the body is going after itself, showing you that everything in the body is connected in one way or another, and definitely through the nerves, right? And so if we use, even if there's no pain, but there's inflammation, you can still use the freedom patch. If you have some type of other nerve issue, still use the freedom and the liberty patch, because guess what? They are synergistic. They are working together, because the nerves are, not only do you have nerves going to a specific area, but nerves splay out. They have connections. They have the channels that they're using to connect with each other, and also neurotransmitters. So you are affecting not only that one issue or three issues that are listed on the on that particular patch. Yes, that's the directive. That's what the imprint is. That's what the braille is for. However, you're going to have crossover. And so when somebody has something like an autoimmune, I would say use the liberty, because most of the autoimmune disorders cause some type of imbalance. And it's not just imbalance as far as you standing and your core strength. It is imbalance in general in your body. So why wouldn't everybody be on the liberty patch, right? And then the freedom, because inflammation, pain, or something like pain. So it could be pressure. It could be discomfort, right? All those things are still rooted in the same origin. And also pain has many ways how it's registered in your body. So there are different pathways that those nerves go to communicate in order to communicate, to do pain. So it's not just like this one spot, you know, because you have pain in your hip doesn't mean that that's just only those nerves. It's splaying out, and this is why we have radiating pain, where it could be in another part of the body. So if you have back pain, some people have hip pain, some people have knee pain, some people have the pain all the way down to their ankle, because we have this radiation of pain because the nerves are connected. And so you defend. Your body is fighting itself. Why wouldn't you put on the defend patch in an autoimmune disorder? Absolutely. Your body is fighting itself. So you want that to correct, because that's not the correct state. The correct state for your body to be in is that you are whole, you are well, your body's not fighting itself. It's actually fighting off whatever may be coming after you. And that allows your body to be able to do those things normally. And then peace. If you have a chronic illness of any kind, just the matter of how it affects how you're thinking, how you're feeling, where your emotions are psychologically, why wouldn't you put on peace? Why wouldn't you put on joy? Like, you could never go wrong with putting on too many patches, because guess what? There's nothing in them.
Right.
There's nothing in them to interact. You can't overdose. You cannot overdose. I just talked to Bridget, right? And I said, well, where do you put your patches? And she said, well, I got 6 going, you know, I put them right here in a line. And I was like, okay, that makes it really super easy. You know, so you can't overdose on it, because it's corrective. It's going, and it's communicating with how your brain. So it's not the same thing for everyone. So that's how come somebody may take a little bit longer. Plus, how did your brain learn to deal with pain? How did your brain learn to deal with stress? How did you learn how to deal with whatever your body has come? Your body has been trained to respond to certain things over time. So that's the neuronal connections that exist right now. What the patches are doing is creating that new healed neuronal pathway that is correcting the issue. And now we're going down the right track instead of down the wrong track, right? And so I just think that we're going to see such really major miraculous things. I'll tell you, and I'll share. This is where I had no idea. We never know. So I gave the patches to the Liberty patch to someone, and I put pain patch on her, and she didn't get relief from the pain patch immediately, but she got her incontinence that she has usually been running, like get up at 6 a.m. running to the bathroom and still pee dribbling down her legs. The first day, less than 12 hours after she had the Liberty patch on alone, she said, I didn't have to run to the bathroom. Not only that, she didn't go, and she went back to sleep. And she got up and she still didn't have to run to the bathroom. So do you know how life-changing that is? Especially women experiencing that. Like that is
a message testimony of that same thing last night from a man who said,
exactly.
He said, I am not running to the bathroom. He said, normally I'm up all night long, and literally text me and Paul last night around 10:30 to say, he's trying to watch everything that he notices different. And he said, I am realizing that I am not rushing and running to the bathroom. He said, and I slept through the night for the last few nights now.
Wow.
And so that's amazing. And that's something that we didn't even expect to happen. So there are things that you wear the patches for one thing, and then something else starts happening.
Oh, true.
Right. So that's amazing. And for the men, that's not just the bladder being affected. That's probably because of his prostate. So again, nerves going to different places, and it is correcting where the nerves are connected. That is amazing. And that's life-changing. You don't have to keep getting up at night. He might not even have to wear the REM patch, because now he doesn't have to go to the bathroom at night, and he can go to sleep and stay asleep.
Wow. Chi, you fell in love with these patches. We all three of us are on here. We were done with network marketing, all three of us, and probably every person on our team that's on here too. We all were like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Even though we know in our hearts we wanted to help people. Like, that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. And because of that, granted, the comp plan it's great. It's a unilevel comp plan and all of that. We really haven't talked about it much. We know that you can make 25% off in retail, which is great because it's off the dollar value, not a point value, but it's off the dollar. And we even get to see our volume in actual dollars that are generated in your back office. So that's major too. But Chi, I want you to kind of touch on, because there are so many children that are struggling right now. And I'll let you start, and then of course I know Dr. BRAMWELL will chime in, because that's where her specialty was in for quite a while. But I know that the testimony that sold me right before my mom was the one that I talked to you about with Ashley Valdez and her twins, and how and like I said, we don't claim to cure or mitigate any diseases, but we got to tell you like it is. It's a testimony. Ashley Valdez has 2 sets of twin boys. Her oldest set of twin boys are level 3 autism, nonverbal. They and have ADHD. Okay. And one of them had started to display aggressive behaviors, super aggressive behaviors. I saw her crying on Facebook. I sent her REM, peace, joy, and focus. Those 4. Can you talk about what this does, not just for children, but especially because they are great for children too, because there's no ingredients. But why is that such a great combination for people who are dealing with their brain is all over the place and they can't sleep? If their brain is all over the place, they can't sleep. If they can't sleep, they've got insomnia. So there's a behavior thing going on the next day. And talk about why that combination seems to be helping people who are dealing with those things.
So in my experience with children with autism, putting, for example, one of the children that we used it on, he had this tick where he rocked, and he was nonverbal as well. Right. And so the mother put Kick It on him, thinking that, okay, since Kick It takes care of habits and things like that, maybe it'll stop him from rocking. Well, it didn't do anything. She didn't really see anything. She said, well, let me put Liberty on and Peace. So she put Kick It, Liberty, and Peace The peace, of course, calmed the mind. The liberty over is just overall wellness. And then, of course, the kick it. He stopped rocking.
Mm.
A few weeks later, he started making noises and saying words at school for the first time. So much so the teacher had to call her and say, "Hey, your kid, your son is making sounds and he's saying words."
Ashley's sons are making sounds and words too now.
Yes. So I mean, it's been the testimonies that are coming in with these sweet children with autism. Even if you go to the Patch testimony page on Facebook and you just put in autism, you'll see all of these amazing stories of parents who just don't have to use all this medication to help their children to fall asleep at night. Children with sensory issues. I know a story of a mother whose autistic child or had sensory issues. So in the morning, they had a problem with putting clothes on, putting socks on, and shoes on. So first, she started using the RAM patch so that the kid could get enough sleep, and then she put peace, and she put joy, and she put liberty on, and the next thing she know, now mind you, she put it on his back first.
Yeah.
Now remember, he has sensory issues, so that wasn't going to work because he was able to get to it and he was kicking and screaming. So she said, "I'm not going to give up." And once again, this is the thing, we can't give up, guys, especially when we have children with autism. We can't give up. We have to try different places. So she tried it at the bottom of his foot and put the sock on really fast, put peace on the bottom of his foot. And in 2 minutes, he calmed down. Wore the patch the whole entire day, came home, took the sock off. The patch was still there. He was still calm. Had never happened before. So amazing. Just amazing.
Same thing happened with Ashley's sons. So because they have sensory issues, he was taking off the patches. So although she was seeing an immediate difference in him when he was awake because she had put him on his arms, but she was able to put him on his back, and putting them on his back, he wears them. But guess what happened? After about a week of him obviously sensing that his behavior, he sensed his behavior was better. Now he allows her to put the patches on him. He hugs her now. He actually allows his mother to touch him. A lot of children that are autistic don't even want to be touched. They can write now. They are cutting with their scissors. They're coloring with crayons. They're sitting at their desks. They're hugging and playing, and they're on no meds. And even his doctors even put in the records that he is no longer on any medication and is using a non-medicated patch that his mother found. And that is on record. And we all know that they don't like to have to credit something that's not medicine, but you can't even unsee this. Like, it's happening. We see it happening. They're saying words now where they haven't in 8 years, haven't talked. They're making sounds, they're saying words. And I believe, and I'm, like I said, we can't make a claim, but I just believe that in some years to come, that if she continues on this path with these patches, that she's going to see a major turnaround. She's already seeing a major turnaround, and so I think for me, when I saw that happening, Dr. Bramwell, Chi, like, it changed my life for me. He wasn't sleeping, then boom, he was. And even though she started off with REM and peace, and then joy, peace, and focus during the day. So at night it was REM and peace, and then during the day it was joy, peace, and focus for the daytime. Now she knows when she can sense that there's something kind of kicking up in them, but they don't even have to wear all those patches every day. It's some days they have some things on and not others. And so there's amazing things happening for children, for infants. I saw in our testimony page, Chi, where they put the patch on the baby because the baby came home with colic and wasn't sleeping. The infant. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I did. And a grandmother or auntie or something was saying, no, the grandmother of the baby said that she had gone over to help her, to be with her daughter after the daughter had the baby, and the baby just was crying, 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 crying. And she said, well, I'm gonna try this patch because they said you can put it on anybody. And she did, and the baby slept.
Wow.
All of that colicky crying and all of that stuff went away, and the baby slept. And so I don't know, Dr. Bramwell, I know you keep saying I ain't never seen it happen.
And I wish I had that for those colicky babies. Oh my gosh, because I would just bring the mom back every week just to reassure her that it was going to go away, but thinking about the literature, that we would read about colic and what have you, the temperament of those babies is different and what have you. And so why wouldn't the patches that are going to give that peaceful settling to the nerve, that communication, let the brain communicate that way instead of, and it's not only the child, right? Because the child actually can be picking up on the mom's, nervousness, anxiety, tired, fatigue, all of that, which is only going to increase what happens with the child. And so being able to put a patch on and, not have to give medicine and I can't tell you how many times the child probably had colic, but to make sure that nothing bad was wrong, we would do so many tests. If the parents just kept coming back, the child was having those symptoms, we would do all these tests. We would try medicine because nothing else was working. We can't go home with the mom, to keep telling her, okay, wrap the baby, like wrap them tighter. I can't even, in the ER, I used to be wrapping kids and that's what the patches are doing. Instead of you having to wrap them so tightly so that the nervous system could settle down, you just put on a peace patch and you could get that for that child. And then that's going to impact that child later on, because certainly if you keep that temperament, does that child keep that temperament later on? And does that develop into some other things, inattentiveness? You don't know. And again, not saying any claims of cure or what have you, but my God, if a new mom, with a month-old kid, a 4-month-old can get some sleep, how miraculous is that for home, for everybody? Right? Because if mama don't sleep, nobody else sleeps either. And if the baby's not sleeping, mama's not sleeping, and everybody's unhappy, because then dad's not happy either, right? So, all of that is very impactful to life. And I know we keep talking about like what's being corrected, but how does it translate to how people function? Right. How they're able, how many people are being more productive at work now? How many people didn't go off, like Miss Nina said, she had a day last week where we would have had to bond her out, because if she didn't have on the peace patch. How many people can we stop from being on that edge, wherever they are, whether it be at work, at home, whatever, just life? I'll tell you, the first time that I wore the peace patch, I was actually presenting that day. And I said, there was so much wrong with that day. Like nothing went right. And I was just laughing. I was even laughing on the presentation because I was like, I couldn't make myself get upset. I was like, I should be upset, but I couldn't get upset at all. And I just had to laugh because it was very surreal that could happen, because I knew like I should just be laid out in bed after that day, because it was so crazy, and everything had gone wrong, and I was still laughing. So and I'm able to laugh at myself, but that day that was something else. So being able to address all of this, I mean, this is just miraculous. I just I love it. And
go ahead, Chichi.
Just in case, since we're still on autism, this includes ADHD, OCD as well. We don't want to leave that out. But the two patches that I kind of want to hone in on right now, since we are on that topic, are flow and focus. And remember, flow is limited. Right now,
it's coming back. Yeah, it's coming back.
Yes, you can only get it from one of us.
One of us.
who have it. But I want to talk about the main differences between the two. They're similar, but they work on things. So
Yes.
first, the flow focuses on the 5 neural networks, which are number one, executive decision, memory network, attention network, information flow network, and mood network. The flow also helps one become aware of internal tasks and feelings. It helps with decision making and helps with your memory. Now, the focus helps with more so of those external things like tasks and objectives. So if you're studying for a test, or you're doing a research paper or something like that, it helps with that. It also focuses on the attention network. So as you can see how I'm breaking down the description of flow versus focus, why they would be so important to use with our children and even adults who have autism, ADHD, um, OCD, those things like that.
Or just have a lot on your plate. I
That
I don't have
part.
memory issues, but I wear this flow patch because I have a lot on my plate. I'm wearing multiple hats,
Yes.
and I noticed today, you guys, I took my shower early this morning, and didn't put all my patches on right away because the phone started, and I started putting on patches, and then the phone started, and then I realized this afternoon, sitting here to do a live, I said, wait a minute, why am I so tired? And I realized I didn't have on Boost, I didn't have on Victory, I didn't,
Mhm.
and I also didn't have this on. And I thought about how many things that I didn't remember to get done today. Because normally I have this on, and I've noticed that since wearing the flow patch, I get all of my tasks done, all of them done. And so why not? If this is going to even, and I just also believe, ladies, that we should be proactive and not reactive.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to wait until, or God forbid, I don't ever have to get there, because I am taking charge of my health, my memory, and the health of my brain and the health of my memory now ahead of time. I'm young, still 53, but because I know that I wear a lot of hats, I juggle a lot of things, I've got a lot on my plate, I just don't want to forget. And so I will be glad when this is back permanently, because it is coming back permanently, you guys. I believe they're going to probably rebrand this pack or something like that. I hope they leave it purple, though. I like the purple patch.
I
I
like
like
the
to see
purple
my bag
too.
and see it. Oh, I got the purple patch on. But I do know that it is coming back. Jay, when I talked to Jay and Jonathan, they were telling me when it sold out, they said that it would be about 2 months or so before it was back. Two, maybe even 3. I know there's a lot of stuff happening as they're preparing to launch Mexico and Colombia, trying to get through all the red tape with that. This is just really a time. And so, Chi Chi, if you do me a favor, and then Dr. Bramwell, and then I'll close us out after that. But Chi Chi, go through the top row of patches explaining what each one does. And then Dr. Bramwell, if you would go through the bottom row, and you did already mention flow that's not on there, and we'll mention that boost. There is another patch called boost as well, for energy. And I like this because it's clean energy. It's not that energy you get from Red Bull, and things like that. But Chi Chi, go over the top row, Dr. Bramwell, go over the bottom row, and then I'll kind of tell everybody how they can get started when you ladies get done explaining the patches.
Okay, so the first one is freedom. That is our pain patch. So it helps with pain. This is the patch that you want to put directly where the source of pain is. So if you're having back pain, you want to put it where you're hurting. Um, and then the next one is victory. It's the mama bear to the liberty patch. But the main difference with the victory patch is that you can use it as a pre-workout. You can also use it for muscle recovery. This was actually one of the patches that were that was a sponsor for the planks and push-ups challenge, because a lot of athletes use this. It's for high performance. So it's going to give you that balance. You can actually do the balance and strength test with the victory patch, which I've done several times. The liberty patch is the main one that we do the balance and strength test. It helps with neuropathy, homeostasis, balance, strength. As you know, strength balance is a biomarker to longevity. If your if your hand grip is weak, it may be that you'll have a shorter life expectancy. So Liberty is a patch that everyone needs to always wear. Ignite That is the patch that actually assists you with losing weight, and you don't have to change your lifestyle. So, I mean, is it 500 calories or 300 calories? I can't remember.
Up to 500. Yep,
Up
up to
to
500.
500 calories at a resting metabolic rate. So that means while you're sleeping, you can lose calories. And this is significant because Jay is like, look, we're not trying to make you change your lifestyle. We want to just be the impetus or the catalyst that, you know, encourages you to make those changes once you start to see. And I think Miss Nina saw on your stories a lady who showed a before and after just wearing it for a month. That was amazing. And then we have joy and peace, and they're pretty self-explanatory. So if you're dealing with depression, we already talked about autism and those on the spectrum, ADHD, OCD, or even if you're just lethargic and you just need extra happiness in your life. So that's what I would say about that first row.
Awesome. So starting on the bottom row, so this Lumi's for the skin, right? And so anything going on with the skin, if you've seen some of the patches, some of the pictures of people with flakiness and redness and irritation from conditions like, and I'm not saying it's curing any conditions, I'm saying it is improving.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You know, mine is way louder on this side. So the you know, to help those things correct the skin. But remember that your scalp is skin. So if anyone has flaking there, dandruff, different things, that's something going on with your skin as well. So remember, your 15% of your body is skin. The Lumi is important. Any blemishes and what have you, use the Lumi. Okay. Defend, not just for bacteria and viruses, okay? Allergies, all of that stuff that happens with allergies, you're making your body defend whatever is abnormal coming at you. It's not normal for us to like be reacting to outside. Right? So, and then the other things that I talked about, anything that is fighting the body, where the body's fighting itself, autoimmune type things that with increased inflammation, I would use the defend with increased inflammation as well, because there are cells from the body that are being stimulated to go to those places, and it probably is overkill from the body. Okay, focus here. Keep you here, keep you on task, help you be able to stay focused in and zeroed in on what you're doing, right? But also, if you're stressed, if you have a lot of stress, I would say to use focus at that same time with peace, because most likely if you're under a lot of stress, you're not as focused as you think you are, and you're not doing all that multitasking you think that you're doing. All right. Rocket is for sexual enhancement, but also not only for men, but ladies, perimenopausal, menopausal, when all that stuff is out of whack, get the rocket patch. Why wouldn't you do that? Now, there's specific instructions for that depending on your age and what have you. But please, that's worth trying. Why would you bother to do all that other stuff that can actually put you at increased risk when you could actually put on the patch? And then kick it. I love this kick it patch because it's about habits, right? So everybody always zeroes in on smoking or drinking or drugs or whatever. But guess what? Any habit. Somebody asked a question when we were on a presentation, I think yesterday or the day before, about like, what if they needed to gain weight? Well, guess what? If you're not eating properly, whether it's causing you not to gain proper weight or to gain too much weight, you probably have habits that you have that are causing you to do that. You should use the kick it too. All right. And then anything like procrastination, those types of things, you should use the kick it. Those are habits. Those are not good habits. We want to correct those. So this is going to help you correct whatever habits. So it's not just about, you know, losing weight, although it can help you with that, right? You like sweets too much and carbs and all that kind of stuff. It's going to help you. And then the REM, obviously, sleep is at the top of the list of things that people are sleep deprived throughout the whole globe. And so REM is going to help you get that better quality sleep, that dreaming sleep, that's really, really important for rejuvenating your body. I'm telling you, if you're not sleeping, you're not getting quality sleep, or you're not sleeping long enough, you need to put that REM patch on and get that cycle back, because it can get other things in balance, like your hormones and what have you, all that cortisol, that belly fat. It may be because you're not sleeping properly.
Right.
So REM is super important.
Miss
Wow.
Nina, I can go back to the Freedom real quick. I went to the website because I wanted to pull up the percentages. I think that's important that they know. 90%, 80% reduction in anti-inflammatory medication, 85%. Okay, hold on. Sorry. 94% improved recovery. 90% users feel relief in 20 minutes. 50% reduced pain. 90% reduced. Sorry, it's sliding, so I'm trying to get it. But you get the gist. I just wanted
Yeah.
That's awesome.
so you guys can know that these things have been tested and verified.
I need you to do one more thing. They asked because you said I couldn't type that fast because the dog started barking at the same time. But I want to go ahead and type it in. If you just say it a little bit slower when you were talking about flow, I'm going to type it on here so that it's there for people to the 5 areas that flow helps with. So I'm going to type them in. Flow, go ahead.
So flow focuses on the 5 neural networks. Number 1 is the executive decision.
1 second. Networks. 1 is executive decision.
Yes. Number 2, memory.
Memory network. Okay, number 3.
Attention network.
Number 4.
Information flow network.
And number 5.
Mood network.
Thank you. Because I know I know my people. I know people that's watching. I know my clients. They probably like, well, what'd she say? So I wanted to make sure that I at least put it in the and I might have had some typos in there trying to type it fast, y'all, but y'all get it. Y'all get it, right? That patch right there, when I tell you when it was released, because I have so many friends, teammates that have just experienced some loss and because their parents couldn't remember. And we just keep thinking like, had this been available, would this have been something that could have, potentially helped? And so they can't wait until, although they did purchase some while they were available, they can't wait until it's, we don't really want to promote it too much right now because we know nobody can really get it. But when it is available, we could run $1 billion business on this one patch. Along with any others, if you chose, when you think about sleep being there's 6 billion people that are in the world that are affected by a lack of sleep. And so you've heard the testimonies, you've gotten the knowledge that hopefully we were able to answer some of the questions that maybe you guys had and maybe you didn't ask. We tried to cover what I saw, in the questions that were addressed earlier in this live. I want you to make sure that you get back to the person that invited you here. That's important. If you see this on Chi-Chi's wall, if you're seeing this on Dr. Bramwell's wall, if you're seeing this on my wall, if you're, one of my friends or followers, same with any of them, make sure you get back to them and ask them for their link, or anyone who may have tagged you to this live, because we operate in integrity, and we're going to send you directly back to the person that invited you to look this information. We want you to know that there are 2 ways that you can get started. So one is that you can become a customer, and you would simply go to the website and click the word shop. Just like if you were on a Macy's website or anything like that, you would choose the word shop. You will add your products to the cart. Now, we will tell you that if you put your products or your patches on auto order, there are perks and benefits to that. All right, y'all. You will receive 25% off of your very first order. And what we really, really, really love is that if you refer other customers with your customer link, you can earn $30 reward credits for shopping, meaning you can use them to get free product. I mean, so low or no cost, it's win-win. There is a 30-day guarantee that if you use these patches consistently, and y'all, please be consistent. Don't use it one time and then say, oh, they didn't work for me, right? But use them consistently. And if you really say that after 30 days that there was no change at all, not even a little bit, then guess what? As long as you purchase them from the company, not from a person, not from somebody selling it on some third party website, as long as you purchase them from Super Patch, you can contact Super Patch, not us, but contact Super Patch, and they will take care of getting you a refund for your products. Okay. Secondly, how else can you get these amazing products and share them? Because what we do is we post, we patch, we post, we share because we care. I'm going to say that again. We patch, we post, we share because we care. And if you want to patch and post, share because you care with other people, guess what? You can join this company for just $1. Just $1. Now, there are other ways that you can join. And if I were you, I would probably choose one of the other packages like I did, right? Or if you say, well, I didn't see anything that I really liked, or I want to customize my own pack, then what you do is you join for $1. And with that option, you will choose become an associate. And then when you get to the next screen, it's going to ask you, how do you want to join? It's going to say as an associate or as a practitioner. Please choose as an associate. Okay, as an associate. After you become an associate, you're going to be a brand ambassador. When you finish putting your information in, your website is going to be live immediately. When is it going to be live? Immediately. And then what you're going to do is you're going to check your spam email folder, because that's probably where your email confirmation is going to go to, and it's going to have your ID number, because a lot of people are skipping that you have to create yourself a username for your website. Okay, so if you forget, it's okay. You're going to get an ID number in your email that's probably going to go to your spam, and you need to go look at that junk folder or that spam and search Super Patch. You're going to get an email that has that ID number, starts with 111, right? And then you're going to be able to log in by scrolling to the bottom of the Super Patch main website, and it's going to say back office login. You're going to then use your ID number or the username that you created, right? And you're going to use your password. Please choose a password that you will remember. You cannot call us and say, what's my password? We don't know. So don't get creative. Use something that you're going to remember, because you don't have the flow patch yet. All right. You don't have the focus patch yet. All right. So write it down. Whatever you choose, write it down. All right. So that you can log into your back office. And then you're going to go to where it says shop. And then you're going to shop, place an order, place an order, and choose the patches that you want, or a pack. There are lots of packs. We like the $12.99 pack because you can get 40 packs of patches. You can customize that, pick whatever you want. And guess what, you guys? Guess what? That's a $3,000 value for $12.99. Now, if you don't have $12.99, I get it. Maybe you've got 500 or 300, or there's different packages, or you can just add those packs to the cart until you shop your little heart's desire out, choose what you want, and then check out. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now that $12.99 is the best package. It really is, just because people it's $12.99. All of us did the $12.99. All right, we believe in it. And let me explain one more way for you to be able to get these products. If you're saying, I really need to get multiple, I mean, y'all really describe those patches and I need them, but I don't have all the money right now. Well, you can use a credit card, or you can use flex pay options like Afterpay, Klarna, ZipPay, Sezzle, Affirm. By using those flex pay apps and entering your Super Patch website or the website of the person that you are shopping from. All right. So use their website, type it into that Klarna or Sezzle or whatever app you're going to use, and they will split your payments up, but you will get your products right away, because we know how important it is for you to get your products right away. And so we're so glad that we had this time together, and we're very excited for what's to come for you. Okay. What's to come for you. You're right, Nakia. If you want that $269 pack, it's only available at enrollment, or you can go in and just choose multiple different packs of patches for yourself.
Yeah,
But
by the time you put all these packs in your cart and you get the $300, you might as well just go back and get the pack.
right. Because listen, after you, if you join for $1, the 269 is not available. It is only available at the time of sign up. Okay. Once you sign up for the dollar, there are other packs available, but that 269 was a special, and it was a special on the front end. Okay. So look at those packages. Each package will tell you what's in it. But if you're saying, well, I don't want those patches, I want some of those patches that the ladies mentioned, then you will need to sign up for $1 and customize your pack. Please remember, don't message us saying, well, I don't see the flow patch, because you won't. It is sold out, and it is not going to come back probably until after the summer is over. Okay. So we're so glad that we had this time together, and we pray that we left you with enough information to make an educated decision. Here's what I want to say though. There is no other decision to make. You've tried meds, they're not working. You've tried all kinds of things, they're not working. Now try the best. No ingredients, no meds, no side effects, no contraindications, meaning doesn't matter what you got going on in your world or in your life or with your health, that this is not going to impact that at all, because there are no ingredients. Okay. You don't have to worry about allergies or anything like that. Run back to the person that invited you here. Get their link. Okay. Get their link. The time is now, because, wealth is built by those who move before the crowd. I'm going to say it again. Wealth is built by those who move before the crowd. And duplication isn't something that's built on hype. So we're not selling you any hype, but it is built on undeniable proof. And we have undeniable proof that these patches, they work. All right. So we're glad that you were here. We can't wait to celebrate all of your success. And we're excited to be a part of your health and wellness journey. Join now. Get back to Chi Chi, get back to Dr. Bramwell, get back to myself, or anyone who may have tagged you to this live. All right. Be ethical. We operate out of integrity. So we're going to ask and make sure that you are no one else's customer, client, friend, family. Make sure you get back to them, because we're all one big happy family. All right. So from the Super Patch family, we say good night and God bless you all.